I honestly believe that white guilt is becoming more and more alarming and problematic, or just as problematic as black victimhood. Because somehow in this country, if you're white, you were responsible for slavery and you were responsible for the degradation of the black community, or some parts of the black community, and you gotta overcompensate for the guilt that has been placed on you by a lot of liberals in America. I am sick of this. I'm telling you right now, don't come up to me and tell me you feel sorry for me. I don't need your sympathy. Don't come up to me and try to reason with me and say you have sympathy for me, or you're showing empathy towards me because my ancestors were slaves. Well, look, let me tell you this. I had no association. I have no association with slavery. I wasn't even alive during the civil rights movement. I have only been alive when black and white people can go to school together. Since I've been alive, black and white people play football together. Black and white people shop together. They live together. They marry each other. Since I've been alive, black and white people in America don't have issues. Don't have huge issues. Now, when you look at isolated situations, yeah, man, it's never going to happen. Inevitably, people are going to be crazy. People are going to hate each other. People are going to not like other people because of their race, the color, the color of their hair, their eyes. If they didn't get a manicure, pedicure today, people are going to be mad at you. There's a full spectrum of hatred that comes along with being human beings. But does that mean that we live in the 50s? Does that mean that we live in the 40s? Does that mean that we live, 500 years ago? It doesn't mean that. And this is my message to white people who walk around every single day feeling like you guilty. You're not guilty of nothing. I'm going to tell you this. And if you're sitting here and you're wondering, let me tell you this. Black people who are not living the life of victimhood, we don't waste time worrying about who did what thousands of years ago. All we're worried about right now is what can we do together moving forward.
For decades, white guilt has been a major commodity in the West, and as the years go on, more and more white people are being told to feel guilty about things they have absolutely no control over. White guilt is prominent in the entertainment industry, but it's also making its rounds in academia and especially social media. So more and more, it's increasingly obvious that everyone just wants white people to feel really bad and constantly remind them just how oppressed black people used to be. One of the biggest problems that a lot of people take issue with the fact that I'm just saying that black people used to be oppressed. I don't agree with the notion that we're still oppressed, mainly because, I've said this before and I'll say it again. We had a black president for 2 terms. If a black person can become president in a systemic racist country, as they say, I'm pretty sure that there's something wrong. Maybe they're doing a very fucking bad job at oppressing us. Furthermore, there's also things like black astronauts and whatnot, so literally sky isn't the limit to what black people can achieve. I just really want to talk about white guilt because it's getting worse. It's starting to make the rounds and it's transforming into a bunch of negative traits. You have high school teachers telling their students that all white people are racist.
All white people are racist.
You have racist rhetoric against white people allowed on many platforms like Facebook and whatnot, and meanwhile, white people are being banned and kicked off just for saying that they have white pride or that they're proud of their heritage. You have some women that are so guilty about being white that there are feminists that are sympathizing with an ideology that wants nothing more than to oppress them. I don't know if this clip right here that I'm about to show you was real, because of Poe's law. Things have gotten so crazy that you don't know if things are real or fake now. Satire is just completely lost. But I want you guys to check this out and just see how far white guilt has gone.
I am so sorry that 20 is all I have, but I just want you to know that you deserve so much more. I'm just so proud to be able to order a latte from you because you are just such an incredible human. Don't you think that she deserves free access to safe, affordable health care? That's what I want for her.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about her white guilt level?
It's over 9,000!
White guilt has even entered our highest forms of government. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with that Bernie Sanders quote that he said.
When you're white, you don't know what it's like to be living in a ghetto. You don't know what it's like to be poor. You don't know what it's like to be hassled when you walk down the street or you get dragged out of a car.
And now I want you to meet Sally Boynton Brown. She's the director of the Idaho Democratic Party and current chair candidate for the Democratic National Committee. She has a very important message to her fellow white Democrats.
Black Lives Matter, and it makes me sad that we're even having that conversation, and that tells me that white leaders in our party have failed.
As if it's only the white leaders' responsibility. I'm pretty sure there's some black leaders too in the Democratic Party, and of course, you wouldn't dare say that they failed.
My job is to shut other white people down when they want to say, oh no, I'm not prejudiced. I'm a Democrat. I'm accepting. My job is to make sure that they get that they have privilege, and until we shut our mouths and we listen to those people who don't, and we lift our people up so that we all have equity in this country.
I don't understand how calling people prejudiced within your own party is gonna help your cause. If anything, wouldn't it make you want to help even less?
I am not a politician. I am a human being trying to do good work, and I can't do it without y'all. So please, please, please get a hold of me, Sally at wethednc.org. I need schooling, and I depend on you and the people around our community to do that so that I can go school the other white people. We need it.
Basically, what you gotta do is just listen and believe, and don't you dare disagree. You know, it reminds me of Anita Sarkeesian's tactics. You know, they like been affected on her, and now she's trying to listen and just be like, I understand there's a problem because you're saying there's a problem. Even though maybe in the back of her head, she didn't think there was a problem before, but now they convinced her. The only reason that she didn't know there was a problem is because you're fucking ignorant and you're racist. And that's the type of shit that's being happening to a lot of white people across the board. This white guilt is just so fucking strong nowadays, and it is so goddamn annoying. So after seeing some of these examples of white guilt, is there any wonder why there's a rise on white nationalism or white pride? Either you have white people willing to sacrifice themselves on the oppressed altar.
Sorry, I'm white!
Or you have white people getting angry as fuck because they're constantly hearing their race getting bashed, and then they're developing a disdain for other races. Both sides are completely awful, but I gotta say the white guilt side is way worse because it's just how, like, it is so fucking ridiculous just to be completely ashamed of who you are just because of things that happened in the past, and now you're being tricked and believed into thinking that a lot of that shit that happened in the past is happening now. All I know is that white guilt is fucking stupid and it needs to stop.
If I was walking down the street and I saw somebody punching himself in the face, I would probably keep walking. But I can no longer ignore this trend of white guilt. For those of you that are unaware, there is a growing group of white people in this country who have accepted the ridiculous notion that being born white automatically registers them as a social offender. They try to right the sin of their complexion by running around social media yelling at other white people for stating their opinions. For example, if white man A comments on Facebook, "I don't think players should kneel for the national anthem," then guilty white man B swoops in like, "You can't comment, you don't have melanin in your skin." Really? This is a trend that needs to die. Why on earth wouldn't a white person be able to give his opinion just because he doesn't look like the subject of the story? I mean, am I not allowed to say that I think strangling puppies is wrong because I'm not a dog? Repeat after me. It is not trendy or cute to hate other white people. The worst perpetrators of this trend are the ones that try to make it seem like it's a token of their education. Yes, I went to university and learned all about the plight of the black man. We shan't discuss it in our Caucasian circles. We would never understand. If you spent thousands of dollars learning how to hate elements of yourself, you've been scammed. You deserve a refund. Just look at this picture of Emma Watson posing seductively with a book. The title of the book reads, "I'm no longer talking to white people about race." Is that supposed to be chic? Because it looks pretty stupid from where I'm sitting. I couldn't even picture Rihanna holding a book like, "I'm no longer speaking to black people about economics." In all sincerity, to all of you white people that are out there pretending to be so down with the cause that you're willing to throw hate to your own race, please stop. It is the cheapest form of altruism ever. It's you trying to use black people as a prop to feel morally superior to your peers. We are not puppies that need rescuing or books that need Instagramming. We're not your victims. Find a new hobby that makes you feel good about yourselves.